A lot of people have heard that expression, two paychecks away from being homeless, or, it does happen. I came down to help my daughter get through some hard times, and in the process ended up losing pretty much everything I had. I ended up working in a machine shop here in town, and they had layoffs, and I was one of the last to go, and I ended up a week later in the street.
Well, actually, last winter, we were actually outside. We were in a tent, and it was cold. And then we got a chance to stay with some friends. They kicked me out because I wouldn't give them all my food stamps.
I couldn't handle everything. I was working full time. I had just finished my bachelor's and had been in school full time also, and I just wasn't ready. I didn't have a job lined up. Everything just kind of tumbled, it just rolled out into a disaster, and I didn't know how to stop it,
And I know I was in that position. It was quite a surprise. I was a little shell-shocked at first. I really didn't know how to cope.
'Cause it's a hard life in the street. There's a finer class of people here than you might think you'd meet. It's a hard life on your own. Sometimes I get lonely, but I'm never alone.
The Shalom Community Center is a daytime shelter for people experiencing homelessness and poverty.
We've tried to develop a best practice program here in terms of how to reach people in need, and very specifically those living in extreme poverty. So the outreach model includes a couple of major levels. The first one is meeting basic needs. Everything from food, obviously we're feeding people every day in our breakfast and lunch program.
I work here because it's just a conviction of mine that everybody needs to be cared for. There are many people in this town that don't have cooking facilities and they don't have money to buy food. And this is a place they come to eat their breakfast and their lunch.
I have a team that serves a hot breakfast one day a month, and the day is always on the Monday that's nearest to the end of the month. We serve the hot meal because that's when people run out of money. That's when the food gets short. That's when hot meals are important.
We also operate a family market at the Templeton Elementary School on Friday afternoons. Basic necessities also include toiletry items. We do a brisk business every day, and razors and toothpaste and toothbrushes.
It's the diapers. They usually have wipes, and they have extra things too. Sometimes people donate cereal and bottles.
We have telephones for people to use, and as part of that service, we act as a message service for people as they're searching for employment.
I first became involved with the Shalom Center because I was facing homelessness, and I needed an address where I could have my mail sent. So I had heard about the Shalom Center, that I could receive mail here and even phone messages if I needed to.
All of those things are typically things that most of us would take for granted. However, if you're living in extreme poverty, any one of those can be a major barrier to moving forward, if you will.
Things you lose when you move and then you get thrown out of an apartment is some of your paperwork. Things like birth certificates, social security card, that kind of takes a secondary importance to survival. And they helped me get a social security card, driver's license. I needed a copy of that, and my birth certificate's on the way.
As people come into the center, maybe for those basic life necessities, and as they begin to develop a little trust in the center, they come back. What we've tried to do here is utilize resources that already exist in the community. For example, Indiana Legal Services. It's well documented at this point, the unmet legal needs of people living in poverty.
And at this point, what is your citizenship status?
I am American, came 2 years ago.
All the services that we offer are free, and they're also confidential. Some would say the best human service program is a job. Most who are able do want to work. The issue is finding employment that pays a living wage. We have worked in partnership with a volunteer program called Job Links.
Job Links is a program that exists to bring homeless people and economically deprived people into a economic viable position where they can find employment that will pay a living wage.
We help with computer-related job searches. We go through the classified ads. We make connections between the guests and work one. My sort of specialty is resume prep. I sort of help with job searches, but I also take information collaboratively with the guests to generate resumes, cover letters, fill out application forms.
Patricia Andrews, she's the one that does my resume. I have a new resume right now. See, I stay on the ball. I have to talk to him like that because he sometimes just really does me in. And it's a new form, you know, and it's updated and it's current.
What I really love is the look on their faces when they see that resume. It's like, wow, this is me, you know. I really do have something that I can offer. And what I often see go across their minds, I think, is a feeling of hope, maybe for the first time in a long time.
Norman, the guy from Job Links, he amazed me. And, you know, the way he just, you know, kind of took charge and said, this is what you need to do. And he said, I want 3 interviews a day till you get a job. And when I got the first job, he smiled.
Things have gotten better for me. Now when I visit the Shalom Center, I feel like I'm an outsider a little bit because it's different now. You know, I'm working, I have a home, I'm married, yet at the same time I know that I'm just like them.
Some newer programs that we've developed, what's called the Family Homelessness Prevention Project. We try to identify families who are at imminent risk of becoming homeless and intervene at that point.
They've helped me connect with other agencies in town to keep my utilities on, which helped relieve for me to pay my rent so I could keep our home.
We have partnership with the City of Bloomington's Housing and Neighborhood Development Department. They send a staff person each week to work with them on finding decent and affordable rental housing. So that project has gone very well.
I just feel like the Shalom Center helps everyone, and they help people in a very non-judgmental way, and it's really made a difference in my family's life.
Everyone is welcome, no questions asked. It is just unconditional, a positive regard, and it's wonderful being part of a community like that.
The people in Shalom, Job Links, whatever it might be, you know, if they see you doing the right thing, they're going to step up and help you. It's just the way it is here.
I'm hoping it's a springboard, that I'm hoping that I'll be able to utilize Shalom Center to get me back on my feet and back into an apartment. And so far, it's looking really good.
My biggest satisfaction is to see signs of hope in people who I think had lost hope.
Some folks got some money, some folks got some time, some ain't got but a cigarette, some ain't got a dime. There's those who have and those that don't, and those there in between. Bless those who give unselfishly, whose gifts are seldom seen. 'Cause it's a hard life on the street. There's a finer class of people here than you might think you'd meet. Well, it's a hard life on your own. Sometimes I get lonely, 'cause there's no place like home.